Welcome to the Archives Podcast. This podcast serves the goal of helping special operations veterans share stories about their time in service and helping listeners understand the unique challenges that come with being in special operations.
This is episode 3, and for it, we have Bill, a former Afghan Special Forces operator and graduate of the United States Army Special Forces Qualification course. Bill sat down with me to talk about his experiences as an Afghan soldier and his struggles with bringing his family to America. I hope you all enjoy listening to this episode as much as I enjoyed speaking with them. Please remember to like, comment, and share. But most importantly, have a great and safe day. Thank you so much for all your support.
All right, sounds good, man.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Bilal Ahmed Shinwari, Afghan ex-Army Special Forces, Afghan National Army, Special Operation Corps, National Mission Brigade, First SFK Sergeant Major, currently located in the USA, Texas.
And if you could just, give us a short rundown of your career from start to finish, and then we'll just elaborate as we go on.
Okay. From the beginning, in 2007, I joined the Afghan Army. Been in the Afghan Army for 1 year as a soldier, and then I qualified for the Commandos, which I moved to the Commando in 2008. I joined the Commando and I got training. And after graduation from 6 Diamond Commando battalions, I've been there for 2 years. After 2010, the new Special Force ANASOF, Afghan National Army Special Forces training started up, and then I jumped on the second class of the Afghan National Army Special Forces, and been in Special Forces for till the Afghan government collapsed under Taliban's government till 2020, August 15th. I was a liaison officer and to the U.S. and Afghan forces from 2017 to 2021. And at the beginning, I was a combat medic at the Army. I was also a combat medic at Commando, and then I was for about 8 years combat medic also at the ANASF, Afghan National Army Special Forces. Later, I became Master Sergeant for the ODA, and by the time I came to the USA on a scholarship for the Q course and for the language course. Returning back to Afghanistan, I was able to start a new job with the U.S. Forces, Special Forces, which is liaison officer. Through the year of the time that I've been in the military, I've been conducting multiple missions with the Navy SEALs, MARSOC, ODA, which is the Green Beret, and also I've been conducting some special operation with the SAS from the Australia, the Wardak Province, and also some operation with the British SAS at the Kteh Province. Include that some with the French SF at the Kabul Survey district site, and also with the German regular army who were not able to get involved with the German special forces at the time when I was working at the Baghlan and Kunduz, the Har provinces. In Afghan army, we have a regular army, and also we have a commando and special forces. The difference between the Afghan army, special forces, and commando from other countries, and specifically from the USA, is the beret. And maybe the name of the unit, which is like the Afghan National Army got a green beret, Afghan Commando, which is they got a red beret, and Afghan Special Forces, they got a 10 beret, which is the difference between the 10 beret for the U.S. Ranger, and green beret is for the SF, and red beret is for the 82nd. So that's the difference. The difference between the Commando and the SF is the same, Ranger and Special Forces. I've been conducting operations in all of those. I have all berets with me in my house. Joining the army was the decision came from childhood while we were refugee in Pakistan. We went out to Pakistan. So while we there, I was going to the school there, and there was a civil war was going on in Afghanistan, which was the between Mujahideen at the beginning. After the Soviets left, Mujahideen started an internal war with each other. After Mujahideen, Taliban came in power. So there was no hope that we will have an army like from the 2001 to 2021. So we stayed in Pakistan, and I was able to keep continuing my school. As soon as I got graduated from the school, so I went to Afghanistan to the higher secondary school. When I started higher secondary school over there, I saw the military, army, police, and everyone over there. And also the same hope that I had from the long time in my heart came up, that I saw the opportunity that I can join right now, and I can do it in the real life anymore, not just hoping and thinking about it. After graduating from the higher secondary schools, I talked to my parents. Uh, Plus that, even we Afghan who were living in Pakistan, uh, financially were not that much strong because we were as a refugee there. So I decided to come support my family and also support my country and help my country. In 2007, I decided to come to Jalalabad and pick up the form for the military, and I got hired and came to Kabul Military Training Center, which is we call KMTC. After going through the 12-week training KMTC, which was being supported by the U.S. Regular Army, and they were being trained by the U.S. Army, the portion of it. I was selected for the combat medic due to my experience with the medicine and some other stuff and hobby of the medical stuff. They sent me to the Army Hospital, which is Sheikh Sardar Muhammad Al Khan Hospital at the Kabul City for the military. I got more 12-week training over there with the medical stuff and graduated. And after that, I served with a little bit around the Kabul City as a regular Army. After selecting to the commando, we came to the commando unit, which is a Moorhead in Afghanistan. We call them British Corps. So there was already 5 commando battalion was existing, and we were jump up. So they started a 6th Commando Battalion, which is going to be the strategic battalion. We're located in Kabul City, in the Moorhead, and also is going to be named Diamond. Most of the people, they had a full energy, and they tried to jump up in there and complete the course. We did the same things in several months and completed the commando course. Graduated from there and located to Kabul City, and I started up as a combat medic over there. After 12 weeks of the training of the commando, we jump up to the combat medic training with the GECO, some other MRP, military retired contractor that was just the mentors and also the cadre. They were training us on the MOS training site, but the training, which was going to be the combat, was being trained by the U.S. Green Beret over there, which was perfect. And I really enjoyed training with them. It was hard part. That was super, super hard, but we really enjoyed. After graduating from the commando, the 6th Commando was the perfect commander at that time. They were saying that you guys are going to be conducting all over Afghanistan mission. Since each commando battalion was for the each section, east, west, north, south, and central. For each corps, they have made it already, but this one is going to be just for supporting all the commando battalion and some special operation. I've been there in 2 years in the commando. After conducting several operations and having a good relationship with the U.S. forces and everyone else, then I decided to go to the Afghan Green Beret as soon as I started them. When I went to the Afghan Green Beret, the Afghan Green Beret was already, they were graduating the first class, which was the 46 people got graduated from the first class due to the hard training, everything like that. The second class, as soon as they started up, they were not recruiting anyone from the 6th Commando, which I was there. But we made some kind of exception, and they put me on the second class. My rifle number on the shoulder was number 1, which I was super famous for that number 1. And I was the only guy among all those guys who was working with me and who was training with me that speak fluent English, and that made my job easier, made my colleagues' job easier, and also made the U.S. Special Forces job easier, so they don't have to have Turks everywhere with them, so they can use me as a Turk and also everything. I was a class leader for a while, and was doing all the kind of training. The training schedule, selection, everything was the same like the U.S. Special Forces do in the Q course over here. Uh, Through the course, we did everything, whatever we do here, the selection, pilot, all those MOSs and everything else. After spending some time in Special Forces graduation, we were going to Helmand Province. That was the first Afghan Special Forces ODA from Minister of Defense that was going to the Helmand Province. Before that, we had a commando, but we had no special forces all over Afghanistan at the Helmand Province. So we went to Helmand Province. Prior to us, they sent our equipment and trucks, everything to Helmand Province, and we pick up those things. We went to Camp Price with ODA 1326, Captain Chief, and JD was the team sergeant. They had a great team. That was the awesome team. We had a great opportunity with each other. And after spending some time, the Special Forces system was created by the U.S. Green Beret, is that they're going to get trained over here at the Moorhead, the basic training and some MOS and some other special tactic, everything else. And after that, they will deploy them to the regional teams around the countryside of Afghanistan. Once we get there with the Green Beret, so they will do the training with us again. Not the basic training, not the longest, but they want to evaluate us, check us, in what schedule are we, in what level are we. So that was a requirement for the Afghan Special Forces at that time. So we have to complete the 6 months with the US Green Berets on village stability basis, everything. Once you go over there, you follow all requirement and rules, everything of the Green Beret over there. So when you completed that thing, they will send you back to the Kabul with your result, and you're going to receive your green 10 beret if you qualify, if you were passed. If you were not, so they're going to put you on a more longer train, maybe for more 6 months, and then you're going to receive. I was luckily able to pass my requirement and everything, and I got my 10 beret after 1 year when I graduated from the Special Forces and went to with the U.S. Green Beret to the Helmand Province and completed all the mission and everything. After conducting several operations, everything, receiving my Special Forces beret, I was also selected again for the Special Forces Battalion Medic, which I was issuing a lot of the medicine and everything like that, going again, training again the medics for a little bit of while, for almost like 3 or 4 months at the 1st Battalion at the Moorhead. By the time everything's the training facilities that we had was different later by the time, because at the beginning, when you were going to join the Afghan Army, you were supposed to bring your AK-47 or some kind of weapon with you that you're going to give it to the Afghan government, and then you will be hired as a regular army and you will continue your training. From the 2001 to 2006, that was the situation. Later, and those were all those people with the Mujahideen, Jihadi leader, they were the people who had a manpower, bringing their own people to the army, and that was a requirement. Like Fahim, Dostams, and Sayaf, Mahkik, and those are the people, they were bringing their own men with the AK and to collect DDR, their weapons, to the weaponry in Afghan Army police by the time. 2006, everything got changed and we were able to join because we had no weapons, nothing with us to take it to the army and continue serving the army. So when those requirements ended up, more people jumped up and came to the army and started up working as a normal people that were doing it.
And on that first deployment, what was your first firefight like?
Okay, so as soon as I got graduated from the commando, was a combat medic. By the time spending some more time a little bit with the guys, they gave us a task that we go into the Maidan Shar, which is Maidan Wardak Province, Saidabad district. I was going as a medic over there and jump up with the guys with the first company of the Commandos. We went to the HLZ and waited over there for almost like 4 hours because we were supposed to be flying at 10:30 to the mission place. That was a little bit right on CH-47, but due to the ISAR's information, everything like that. They postponed the mission until the 2:30. We waited over there, and that was my first time communication with also the good communication with the U.S. CH-47 pilot, and they gave me the patch also, which my friend took it away from me. But we fly from there, and that was my first experience in a helicopter. By going to the specifically the real mission, the combat mission, and I had a night vision, which was I was not really prepared. When you go to the missions, you understand how the amount the night vision on your helmet, how to manage your backpack, how to manage your all body, everything like that, because you're going to be walking around over there for longer. So that was a little bit comfortable at the beginning, but when I got in the helicopter, I find out that my backpack was not comfortable, the medicine, and also my helmet, my night vision, and I was looking from the helicopters, the C-47, the side view, that how the ground looked like from there. And the same thing, I was expecting that once we land over there, we're going to be running and we're going to be doing stuff like that. But I didn't know the good experience of the terrain, that the terrain over there is a little bit different. The mission is a little bit different. We got landed by the 320 at the Sedaba district over there. We jump up, we started walking all by the company. And as soon as at nighttime, it's very peaceful in Afghanistan. When you do, it was peaceful till 2020 and 18. When Taliban had no thermal guns, nothing. And that was super, super peaceful. We were walking on a green zone, searching the compound, everything. At the daytime, as soon as it started up, the lack of the sleep and everything, like the backpack, I was really not in a comfortable situation. But we started up walking, clearing the compound, houses in the green zone. As soon as we entered the green zone, Taliban started up talking on a radio, which, to be honest with you, it made me so scared, because that was the first time hearing a Taliban talking about the propaganda that, hey, the commando got in the green zone. Now it's our turn to take them all alive, everything like that. So just to motivate their own fighters, that's what they were saying to each other on the radio. The reality, they were not even visible. Maybe they were not 1 or 2 miles away from us. Some of the people, that was just propaganda. So I was sitting in the green zone, everything like that. So some friend of mine who had been in the mission before me came to me and sat down with me and was talking with me. And they were asking what's going to happen if someone get hurt, anything like that. I said, I'm prepared. I don't have any issue, so I can treat the guys. So they just look at me, they say, you hear those already, communication, tracking, everything? I say, yeah, I do. And they make a lot of noise. They say, we're going to capture them. I say, yeah, that's kind of make me nervous. And he said, don't worry about it. These are normal things. Wherever we go to the mission, that's what they say. But you will never see their faces until you're in the commando. You have a red beret, so it means nobody will come in front of you. Well, I say, okay, so it's gotta give me the motivations, and I jump up and start clearing with the guys the compound and helping them with the situation. That we jump up in the house and we were cleaning the house. I found out the Taliban big clinic for them. We asked the guy, where's the medicine coming from? Those medicine was all of the American medicine and all of the NATO medicine, which was not supplied by the US or even NATO. So if you see the big route going through Kabul, Ghazni, through the Wardak, that's the route they were always hitting the convoy, and they were loading all those things. If it was the logistic equipment, they were looting them. So that was the one of the victim also of those things. So they got those all medicine, everything out of the connex, which they hit on ambush to the way to the Kabul. And they were putting it over there in one big saloon in rooms, and they had a big clinic over there. So we started clearing everything like that. That was a brand new, all kind of equipment in there. So we seized that things, we take it, and we send it back to the Kabul, those equipments. That was my first mission. And I was super, super excited by the time when I see the guy told me that they're just propaganda, everything like that. It was really. We arrested several guys. We found some abandoned cars, everything over there, which was abandoned by the Taliban that run away. When by the time we were going a little bit deeper in the valley, that was the time that we got in trouble, because as soon as we were following the Taliban, they were waiting for us at the position. They just wanted to keep us busy around, but we got deeper in the valley and we got in a fight with the guys. Luckily, none of the commandos got hurt. Nothing happened specifically to the commandos. We were had air support, air power by the NATO and the U.S. forces, but we were able to capture 9 of the Taliban at that first mission. With their guns and everything, due to the situation that was created by the U.S. And NATO forces that we were trained. Um, like in Afghanistan, most of the time, the Mujahideen or the Taliban, they were arresting the person, killing them on the spot. But we were the professional, and we were acting professional, and we were conducting operation on a professional way. So we were not allowed to do even anything. We just arrest them, take their AK-47 weapons, everything like that, and most of them they were gone back to the Kabul, Bagram, or somewhere those area. We while I was conducting the operation, I had an MREs, and I offered those to the kids, but they didn't want to eat those things. They would say that's infidel foods, and we do not eat infidel foods. So they were even thinking about us as an Afghan who was praying, who was a Muslim, that we are infidel, and also they were not accepting anything from us. So that was the weird experience when we go to the mission, meet with the people, the local people, specifically the people who were far away from the city side, and those who was living under the Taliban control. Uh, they really they were thinking different way, not the way that we were, because they were thinking we're all infidel, we do not pray, we do not have mercy on anyone, and anything like that. But after we captured 9 Taliban over there, and we did not kill them, we did not do anything to them. We just got their weapon, put them on a zip tie, and sent them to the Kabul. That made a little bit difference in the people's mind. So that was my first combat mission, because we were conducting a mission by the company. So we were had more people, more power, and then we fly the next night. Most of the commando mission at that time was 24 hours, because they were interested in light at night time, midnight most of the time. They conduct operation at daylight, and also through all day long they conduct and clear the specifically a big valley, a village, because we had enough power, 130 guys, something like that. And then at the other night, he's gonna fly with a 4 or 5 CH-47 helicopter to the base back.
All right, man. And so how long was that deployment? I think when we talked yesterday, you said it was 8 months, right?
Yeah, so the deployment for the difference between the regular army, I'm gonna go through those things so people can more understand that. Since the Afghan army, the regular army, had 3 to 4 months of the deployment that you will be conducting operation or doing anything in the Kabul city, and then you will go to the home for almost 25 days, which was different in the countryside. You're going to spend 6 or to 10 months in the deployment, and then you're going to go for 1 month, which was at the beginning when everything was peaceful. But later, everything got upside down. People were spending like a 17, 20, even 3 years. So 17 months to 20 months, or even to the 3 years over there. And then they were going to the home for 2 months or something like that. The commando was everywhere the same. We had a red, green ember cycle. So we were doing the same things. Commando was going for 45 days to the training. They were conducting all kind of trainings, whatever the necessary from the other the company left to them. And then after that, they're gonna go to the mission for 45 days, and then they're gonna go for 1 month on vacation, which was perfectly made. And that's why most of the commandos were happy conducting operation in the commando, because they had a good schedule. So in the commando, usually I was conducting operation for 3 month training in the combat mission. And after 3 months, I was going to the home for 25 days. In the special forces, that was different for Afghan special forces. We were conducting 5 or to 6 month deployment, and then we were going for a month.
Okay. And so when you guys weren't on a rotation, what was the training like? Because a lot of people have a bit of a misconception that a lot of Afghan units were poorly trained. So how often did you guys train, and how intense was it?
Well, I will accept the concern of the people, they were poorly trained, yeah, but there was a time difference. When that happened, when that started up, as I yesterday when you were talking, um, the Afghan forces was perfectly trained by the U.S. Army and the Special Forces and all those units at the beginning of 2014. They were perfectly being supported by the U.S. forces, and they were perfectly trained by the U.S. forces. They were giving them whatever necessary they needed. Since we had a short terms of time, everything, because we were supposed to be getting out of the situation and have our own army. At the time, they say 70,000 Afghan forces should be supported their country. So 70,000 forces was completely trained by the U.S. forces in perfect condition with the perfect the equipment, everything, till 2014. When the 2014 everything started at the transition, that they say Obama said that the transition will happen and they might take out their forces out of Afghanistan. The NATO might leave Afghanistan, so the Afghan forces should take care the responsibility of the area and some big bases, everything like that. And we will be just monitoring them and mentoring them and giving them some our idea that what they can do. That was the time when the people's real concerns started up. Uh, they uh, they were training them, but not the way that the U.S. forces were at that time. We had an Afghan, some good cadre there from the regular army, but since, as I told you, Afghanistan has always got ruled by the some of the political people's and politicians, and some of the general from the and also some jihadi leader who become a general in the army. They have the lack of the knowledge, everything. They just changed most of the plans. What use was plan for the Afghan army, how to train them, what is the schedule for the training, everything like that purposes. Those guys ruled by the some Afghan general and some mujahideen who had no experience of anything. The same thing happened with the commando. The training was schedule got changed a little bit. The food, the hygienes, the equipments, the deployment schedule system. Like this commando was not supposed to be going on a mission more than 72 hours, but then you will see the commando are out for more than like a 2 weeks or 3 weeks over there. And nobody cared to take them out because commando need to be repaired and rest and everything like that, and then conduct a special operation. The special forces was also the Afghan special forces was the same way that they were trained. By the time when I was there, we had the greatest weapon system, we had the greatest training, we had the greatest everything. Till 2014, but that's also got ruined by the Afghan the commandos corps, because the commando corps say that the Afghan Special Forces brigade should come under the commando corps. And when they come under the commando corps, so you have to follow the commando rules. Most of the thing, you're going to keep up your training. We're not going to do anything with your training. But that was just saying, but they didn't follow them, and they started interrupting our schedule, everything, and the training got a little bit lower. But the 2017 was the year that super got weird, and most of the training got just a short training, everything like that started up, giving a little bit training to the guys. First of all, we got deeper in the bar. The war got spread out all over Afghanistan, and also after the war spread in Afghanistan, the military had also its lows. The last people were dying, people were wounded, and everything. So the military thought, okay, we can just train the people in a little bit basic stuff, and we're going to send them and deploy them to the mission. So that started up after 2014 to 2017, and after 2017, it got worse, and they were just giving them weapons based on their their Pashtun or their Afghan. They have already experienced the war and they know how to deal. And some of them are jihadis, son, and some of them have seen in their village war, everything like that, which is not a part of the military. You know, I mean, as a kid, I see a lot of things, but when I grew up, I need those things on a professional way, the way that it should be done. So the concern after 2014 to 17, and after 17, it got worse. The training facilities got changed from one another location. They were recruiting people that they said we need because we're not going to have any more 70,000 Afghan army. We have to boost into the 150,000 forces, which they did. But that was with a weak training and with not a professional way, the way that the U.S. forces was training them to 2014.
All right, and if you just want to take us through, you know, if you had a deployment which was the most kinetic, the most active, we could talk about that. And then after that, we can go into how you went to Defense Language Institute and the Q course.
Yeah, so through my career with in the Army, in the Commando, and the Special Forces, I've been through to more than 430 mission, combat mission, which every mission is important and was, it's a memory. But to me, working with the U.S. forces, specifically U.S. Special Forces, was full of memories. Some of the memory was a difference because you have some people that take care of you a lot, and some people take you as a brotherhood, everything like that. That was a different. I'm not saying anyone else did something wrong, but they all did the great thing to me, and they were all supported me so good, and they helped me a lot since I was the Green Beret also at the point. But I will go through the mission that we were conducting with the Green Beret about going to the mission to rescue some of the with ODA 7235, Andy Marxano, who always miss him, and he was a great person. He was a great team sergeant, and he was my best friend. Also, we were making a lot of fun of each other, and he called me a brother, and I'm also miss him as a brother. And so he was with me, and he said that we might conduct operation, and it might be just something special that you might be super interested in. Your special forces will be super interested in also. I say, well, I don't have any issue with that thing. We have been conducting operation for years, and if it's something special, that would be more fun. We planned the mission with the Afghans. Before I started going deeper in the mission, so I'm going to mention another unit also, which was an administrative defense, which was created by the Rangers, which was called Afghan Partnership APU Afghan Partnership Unit, which is later become by the Kteh Khas Afghan. So that was the part of. They were also the part of the Afghan National Mission Brigade Special Forces, but they were trained by the Rangers, and they were conducting most of their operation with the Ranger when they were in Afghanistan. They were become also the part of our mission. So two Afghan Special Forces ODA plus the one platoon of the Ranger Afghan the KKA. We had a separate target over there, so we're gonna land over there. So one the KKA got the clinic, and we got a mosque with the underground big caves. So we're going to be clearing those things. Nobody had no idea that what is going on over there, but everybody wanted to keep them classified, except me, which is I knew that thing was going on over there. That was the prisoner of war, the Afghan army, police, some other governors, and some people who was captured by the Taliban, and they were over there. They were kept there. So we had two options to take care of the both options at the same time. We got into to the HLZ and start giving to the guys a lot of the training. So the good thing about the special forces and the commando, before we go to the mission, we were doing the rehearsals. We had some mud houses over there. We had all kind of train over there. So we would take the guys over and train them and give them kind of idea that, hey, what's going to be happening and what kind of compound we're going to be facing with and from which direction I will be coming. So we were giving them whole kind of the sand table, everything to them. That was which left behind by the U.S. forces to us. And as I told you that we were trained by the U.S. Special Forces, so we were able to copy most of the thing by ours. Our NCU, they copy a lot of things. So we give the guys a sand table. After the sand table, we went to the rehearsal sections. We gave the rehearsal, everything like that. Everybody was asking me, where are we going? What are we doing? I said, well, our job is just to go after the enemy, and you guys just have to follow. And you guys know the enemy who at the ground. So that's the only thing you have to keep in your mind. Everything else will be later by my meet told you guys, because we didn't want it to expose anything specifically. And we were not saying that we did not trust our special forces or KK, but again, we were using a lot of the communication device like the phone, everything like that, which can be tracked down by someone and somehow. And also we were going to report to the Minister of Defense that we are this battalion, this unit leaving on a mission. even the Minister of Defense told us that whenever you guys are leaving to the mission, you guys do not have to tell us the location or anything. You guys just say that, hey, well, even the province or sometimes say around the area. So that will be more classified. And that mission was super, super classified. We went to the HLZ and we put the guys on the three specifically. One is the CH-47, which is not armor, which the other one is the CH-48, I think. And that was up armor. Helicopters came, landed, and we got in there. They already had stretchers and all medical supplies, everything's in there. And we were told that we'll be landing 100 yards away from the target, which made me more kind of worry about it. Like, whoops, that thing looks serious. That's really coming. I told the guys also that when we land, we are running with the full equipment with night vision and everything on that. Follow me, 100 yards, 100 meters. And once we get to the compound, we clear in the compound and just taking position until the rest of the other guys arrive in the start clearing. And we're gonna reach to the we're gonna go to the target compound, which is about 50 meters away from that thing. We got in the helicopters. We had the Echo, and also we had a Charlie with me from the 7235. Andy Marxano told me that I'm gonna go with the KKA guy. So he left with the KKA and the Captain Robert with his chief, and also some other guys. We came to the another groups where we're going to be taking care of the mosque and everything. So as soon as we started flying in the CH-48, that was a long flight for us because from the Kabul Muhid, we were going all the way to Paktika. And from Paktika, we're going to be flying back because they're going to refuel the CH-48 at the Paktika, where the US base is over there. After refueling, we're going to fly again to the Ghazni province, the district where we're conducting operations specifically. So that was a long distance. That was a super, super long distance. Tired because everybody was not feeling comfortable. After we were staying in the air for a long time because there was a lot going on the ground. There was a big prison of the Taliban, and we were taking care of that thing. So before we landed over there, so there was tons at the moment. Everything was going on, and they drop a few bombs and to make the civilians scared to not get out of their house at late 2 a.m. They had some support shooting around the area. We landed 100 yards away from the prison, and me and my rest of the special forces start running to the compound. We clear the compound, and then all the U.S. forces behind us who was supporting our mission and who was supporting us from the air say that we go to that mosque and we can clear that mosque because those mosque was that mosque was full of the Taliban always, and they were having a guards on the prison, which was underground tunnel. We call it Kares. So I took some of my guys with me. I was not a team sergeant for them. I was a liaison officer between the U.S. forces and the Afghan forces. But since I had a sergeant major rank, so all the master sergeant and everybody else, they were super, super respectful to me, and they were my best friend also. And I was always leading them to the mission, and based on my experience. So I took them on 2 ways and start clearing the mosque. Once we cleared the mosque, everything else was there. Even the weapons was over there because Taliban were not able to take them with themselves because they know that the ISAR will see them with the weapons, they're going to shoot them. So they didn't take the weapons, they run away and they enter somewhere else in another car race, but we were able to pick up the AK. The Captain Robert came to me and we were standing, me and the Mirwais was another Mirwais Bashai, who was the Turk, standing next to me, and we were talking that, and Captain Robert, and also the chief told me that, hey, Bill, we got 38 people here. I say, where? It's a small hole over there, and I have no idea what you're talking about. He said, here in the cave. There's a big cave over there. We saw there yesterday, the day before yesterday, the 38 people came out of this same hole that we are standing right now. And last night, we saw the same 38 people who went inside of that thing. But we're not tracking if there's any other exit to this hole. So I was sure, like I knew that thing, but I was not 100% sure because, like, if the Koreans usually have a 2 or 3 way exact way to get out of there, so I thought they might be just enter there and making the military or the aircraft full, so they might be gone some another way. But I say, okay, give me a time. So I put the guys around and I started yelling at the hole down there that uh, the Afghan Special Forces are over here to rescue you guys. If there's anyone inside in the hole, you guys can come out and we're here to help you out. That was the three time in a Pashto I said, Afghanistan, Milur du Zangri Zwakuna Dil Taragali di, what is stuff that, this is no Zasar Buzi. So when I say those words, I'm pretty sure the people who were inside in the cave, they did not believe that thing. They were thinking that we are Taliban and just making, sure that if something like that happened, what the people reaction is going to be. Uh, my voice is super, super loud. Among all the special forces, when I was there, I was yelling, and that was a loud person. I did again three times more, but we waited over there, and then we thought if they did not come out, we're gonna send our special forces inside, which was 99.9 threat. If there's a guy shoot over there and the guy died while going inside of Karay's, that's not going to be easy for us to take out that guy back and receive that dead body. So I waited 15 minutes later. The goodness of the night vision that I was able to see a little bit light. Me and the robbers, and it was, hey, there's a light coming. I said, yep, it means like something. So one of the regular army guy, he came out of that cave and he looked at me then. But he had no idea that are we Taliban, are we commando, because we special forces was a little bit kind of not nobody knew that much special force. Everybody else in the army, they were thinking commando because commando had been in the for army Afghan army for a long time and they were super famous. So they were thinking, are you guys real commando? I say, yep, we are. And I've jumped up over there. I got Captain Robert Hanks and got lower in the ditch and grab that guy and take him out. Once he saw our equipment and everything like that, he found out that this is the true commandos. They were thinking we are commando. And then he yelled because they told him everything like that. If I got captured outside and they kill me, it's okay. So one of us is gonna die because they're gonna be, just want to find out if are we going to escape from here or not. So if that was real, I'm gonna call you guys back and you guys gonna get out of there. Everyone inside was waiting for them. So as soon as he see me and everything, and he talked to me, and I say, my special forces, they saw that next to me, the Captain Robert, that he's fully and 100% sure understand that we are Afghan forces and American forces, and we're real special forces. He yelled inside also beside me, and that was the time when people started coming out with no weight of nothing like that. They were pushing each other to get out of this place. That was the happiest moment of me. Even like right now, I'm talking about the event that happened in front of my eyes, everything like that. I feel so, proud of me and myself and my friends and my partners, specifically the U.S. forces. They were involved in there. That was amazing. So they're coming one by one. The people who were. Uh, it took me to all the way to the Vietnam War when the pilot was not feeding well, everything like that, and he lost a lot of weight. So everyone else went the same way. They lost a lot of weight. They were super, super scary, and some of them were sick and had no idea what to do. Uh, One by one, we were taking them out of there and escorting them with our special forces to guys, so nothing gonna happen to them to another compound. So total 38 prisoner we were able to take them out of the case. Later, the guys, one of the prisoners say, hey, there's one guy inside, he's sick and he cannot move. And if you guys can help him. So I sent my two special forces, Fazal Rahman, Kari Fazal Rahman, he's from Wardak Province, and also another one, Ali Juma, he was another special force guy. They were the perfect guy, and they were close to me, my friend also. I sent both of them with a pistol inside because we were not able to carry the M4 and shoot them back. So they go inside, they check everything internally, the rest of everything, and came out of there, and they say, no one is over there, everyone is out. We brought them to another compound and start searching them, everything like that, and separating them from each other. Because most of the time when this kind of thing happening, so the Taliban try to just drop off their weapon and take position among those prisoners and make the prisoners cross that if they say something, they're going to kill them or their family. So they don't say that. So we started separating them from each other at the compound. We had not a lot of time, but we were able to find out that all 38 peoples are the the prisoner, and that there's no Taliban among them. Since our job was just to rescue them and take them out of the danger area and transfer them to another area, we did the same thing. We transferred them all the way like a 1 mile away from the same location, everything. We drop off another bomb and hand grenades, everything in the location. We destroyed the prison also. We gave it to the other unit, which was the PSU, Police Special Unit from the Praktika. So those guys they were able to pick them up with the CH-47 came and the additional CH-47 for 38 people. They picked them up, take them to Paktika. From Paktika, they take them to the lower Shank. They used to be the Shank, later become a Daki base. And from there, they bring it to the commando base. So the commando, after that, they were released to their family, money given by their family to them, everything, by the government. They closed everything. And most of the people that we had a conversation with, these people were from the regular, for the Afghan Army, police, some of the police, and some of them were from the, like a civil worker with the government. The longest the guys had been there was 28 months. He said that when I came, my wife, she was having a baby on the way. When I got a baby, my wife called me that she's gonna have a baby. I said, okay, so I'm gonna come over there once you need me. So he said, I got a baby, a son. And then I thought I'm gonna leave and go to the home and meet my new baby, everything like that. But that meeting was not the same day. That was 28 months later. After we released him, most of other people, they have been there for 22 months, 18 months, 16 months, 10 months. The least, the guy who was there for, that was a 6 month, he was there, and he was feeling like I'm me over here. So most of those prisoners, they were high valuable people, and they were most of the captain and the lieutenant colonel, the district governor, and some other people. They were trying their best to negotiate them with the Taliban prisoner, but their plan got failed, and we were able to hit that target and take them back. By the time General Miller and all those people came over, gave us the medal, and also after that, I was not just me, but my whole ODA, the special forces, they were called us to the presidential palace over there. I had a speech over with in front of the president and minister of defense. Also, they gave me the certification for that thing, and they also post my phone, my pictures with the president, all those people, and the social media also. So that was the greatest mission, and that was the perfect memory for me. In the all over, a lot of the people, like we lost a lot of people, we killed a lot of people. I'm not going to say it's a war for the special operation, but that was the thing that we were able to rescue some people who had nothing to do, and they had no power to support themselves. And we were able to help a 38 family to release their closest, relatives and people, and bring those who are the breadwinner to the family back to them and help their family. That was the.
That's great to hear, man. So. What year was that prison raid?
That was in the 2018. That was in 2018.
Go. So we'll backtrack a little bit, and if you wouldn't mind, talking about 2015 to 2017, where you attended Defense Language Institute, and you also completed the Q course.
Yep.
So if you wouldn't mind, getting into that.
You're good. You're good. So the best memories start with the worst start most of the time. I was in a Wardak Province conducting operation, and we were teammate with the Navy Seas over there. And my ODA was located at that time I was team sergeant before in 2014, and I was conducting operation with the SEALs over there in Muhammad Ali district. So I was taking care of a lot of stuff like that. So they were choosing the people for the Q course and for Bravo and Charlie. And so they had to go select some multiple people. They didn't want to give up on those all selection. And they have to have some people around. So if one fails, the other one is going to make it. So we're going to have someone to go to the US and get trained over there with everything. So the requirement was you had to go to the language test over there at the beginning. I guess that was the requirement. And if you're not able to speak English, how you can understand all the training purposes and everything. So, which I was able to understand because in 2000, I went to 2010. I was in the Meltec Morrid English Language Training, which was created by the Defense English Institute at the commando base. I was able to completely go to the school for uh, 6 months, and I got a good point over there, and I was able to understand a good English. But when this opportunity came, so I say that's a good opportunity for me, so I can jump up. I went to the class over there, and also took a class over an exam, which I believed on myself that I made it, and I was completely. But since the situation, everything was controlled by the Afghan forces, I saw the people who was not even I was able to understand A, B, C to the Z. They got passed, and I was the one who was had completely understand everything like that. I got failed in exam, which I told you at the beginning because of the some Mujahideen generals. They were there, colonel from the Mujahideen, and they didn't value anything specific education. They were just value their relationship and friendship and some corruption stuff like that. I'm not going to ignore the Afghan army, corruption in the Afghan army. That's going to be the big lie if somebody ignore it. But that was the one thing I got failed. When I got failed and I came back to my unit, my all NCOs got together and said, "What happened?" I said, "I got failed." He said, "What do you mean?" So they thought maybe that was the toughest exam, and that's why I was not able to make it. But I told him the captain name who was in the special forces and not able to understand English. I told him he made it. He said, so now everybody understand that. And they say, well, we know that what happened. So everybody know that. I think that's a corruption and everything like that. And they were just a relative and friendship. Based on that, they made it. When those all things gone to the US side and the US see those, everything like that, they ignore it. They deny that. We do not accept this examinations, everything like that. We have to be by ourselves over there and we have to take a test by ourselves. That was the thing that the 2 months later in 2014, they called me to come for. I went over there and I gave a test, and I was the one among them, 58 people that I completed, and there was another 2 people from the commando they completed, and we passed. Before we passed everything like that, I was supposed to be coming to the Kabul to go for a little bit of while, the English course before I go to the embassy and take another test. So I went to the Logar province back, the Daki base, and they gave us one of the ANASOF guy who was died in the mission, and the Taliban were able to take his M4 night vision pistol and everything like that, all his equipment that was located in Wardak Province, Shar, and North District. We received a lot of the good information from Hague that, hey, this is the specific location of all those equipments, and the person who was carrying them is in this position today and might tomorrow leave. Without even a lot of because we knew that if we give the US this information, they're gonna build a plan, everything like that. They might support our plan for in next 7 or 5 or 6 hours, or not support because they needed a long time, and we had no time. We were running out of the time, so we just jump up. We use our own Afghan operations. So we took 4 ODA with us, and we jump up. I was super tired because the same day I got back from the mission, and I was not even interested anymore to go to the mission because I was going back to the Kabul to be attending the training and the language course, everything like that. And I was completely out. And they told me that just conduct this last mission, you will be fine. I jump up with them. We drive from the Logar province to the Kabul, from the Kabul to the Wardak, from Maidan Shah Wardak to the North District, which is the Black Hawk. That's the famous base. When I went over there was another ANASOF already located there. We talked to them that we got a mission over here, and we would be going over there. The place where we were going to the target was about 9 kilometers away from the base. If we were taking a Humvee, that would be the exposure of the mission. We were not able to take anything like that, so they would see us. So that was the hardest decision to make. Me and another team sergeants, we had to talk to each other. Major Jamil was over there, also the AV commander, and saying, "What are you thinking to do?" I say, "Well, the only thing I'm thinking, since hey guys, he's the Islamic guy, he's the commander with us, and they know all the route, the best route, where how to avoid the Taliban checkpoint on the way, and do not to be exposed. I think the walking is a good idea." And he said, "Okay, that's great. but it's a 9 kilometers. Do you think we'll be able to reach out with all equipment, everything on the body, and walk over there on the high? I say that's the only way we can get out of the situation because we cannot do anything. There's a big hill over there, the mountain over there, and they had a guy over there over the night vision, so they were able to see even somebody smoking a cigarette a mile away. They were able to understand, and then you're using your laser on the way, so they will understand and they will give the report to the people, and they will be awake already. Um, they said, okay, so we came up with a plan and started walking the guys out of the base. As soon as we get out of the base for almost like a 200 meters away from the base, I stopped and I asked my own ODA guys, take out one battery, which is the AA battery, out of your night visions and the laser, because on accidentally you might push the button and it turn on so they will see them, and I don't want to expose this person. So I was able to collect all of those batteries, give it to them, put it in their own pocket. I say if we need it, so just you guys can put it back immediately. I took those batteries out of the laser and give it to them back, and they put it in their pocket, and we started walking all the way. Uh, that was a longest walking area. I mean, not ever, but that was because you're no 100% sure that you're going through the several Taliban checkpoint. So we were able to avoid Taliban checkpoint and get over there to the place where we're supposed to be. As soon as we got there, again, the 200 yards away from the target, I told the guy, put your battery back in the laser and be ready. We had a Muhammad Dean, his name is the new lieutenant for my ODA. Not for my ODA, for another ODA, but he was pretty new, but he was pretty much excited to do stuff like that. But he never seen the real war or anything like that. As soon as we put the C4 and also on the gate to blow the gate, he was super, I mean, nervous and fear, like what's happened. I said, well, that's a real thing. It's not a joking. We jump up in the house, everything. As soon as I got inside the house, I was clearing the one window because we had no time till we go inside and clear it. But from the window, we were clearing because there was a totally whole village was a Taliban, and we were just wanted to take out the specific target. The other ODA who was, this is what they call themselves, the 7 groups, and those guys were a perfect guy. The team sergeant was Ismail, and the other team sergeant, that was me. I jumped up inside and I saw the guy, and when with the laser with the night vision, I was able to observe that there's a 2 AK-47 laying down on the wall. There's another two AK-47s on another room, and as soon as I say from the outside of the window, I say, hey, the guys over there with the AK-47 and the 2 other guys, they got inside. As soon as they got inside, the guy wake up and try to jump up and pick up his AK-47. I saw he was sleeping beside his wife and all the 2 months old daughters, and other daughter was also with them. I mean, I didn't know that thing at the beginning, but I had no other choice to shoot him because he was going to pick up his, and I was yelling at him to do not pick up, do not, but he was just picking up. I still remember as soon as we strapped the AK and was going to charge it, I just shot him, put him down, and take. Once we enter, we pick up our own info. We pick up the night visions. The pistol will disappear. I think that was with some other guys. So by the time everything's gone smooth, we were able to pick up our equipment, everything like that, take the picture of the body, everything, another thing, and we get out of there. That was the worst thing at the beginning. That was the mission we have been done. And as soon as I got back, they say, oh, you're going back to Kabul. So they gave me the paperwork and all my equipments without, I told them I want to go in a personal car in the taxi to Kabul. That would be good because that would be more safe. On the way, there was a Taliban checkpoint. I put my all equipment and everything on the taxi rear, and I was wearing the civilian clothes. But coming out of the Polyalem Lower Province capital to the Muhammad Ali there zone with the Taliban, I faced it with the Taliban checkpoints, which was about like a 300 to 400 meters away from me. And we were slowly, the taxi driver told me that, hey man, that's going on. And I had a military stuff with me in my back of the car. So as soon as we there, because that was on a highway one, so the ANA come on the other side and they start fighting with each other. So we stopped at the roadside, and I was able to survive that thing. I came to the Kabul and started English course a little bit a while over there, because before we go to the embassy, we have to be able to complete the ACL, English Comprehensive course over there. So I was able to attend the English course for almost like a 4 months again, and then went to the embassy. The requirement for the embassy was the 55 marks. I should get an ECL 55 marks, so then I can go to the USA, which I got 87 at the first day. And my complete the course at the defense language was 88 marks. I supposed to get 88 marks, so I can go to the Q course. So after completing passing my test back in the embassy, I was the first Afghan who went to the USA alone, because most of the time they were collecting all the Afghan 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 peoples together, and they can assemble. But I mean, I was the only guy who they say, no, you're going alone. They gave me the ticket, the money, everything like that, and I went to the USA and landed at the San Antonio Airport, and there to the Lackland Air Force Base, started up language course. So I was able to complete my English. I was there for 4 months, but before 4 months, I was already completing my course. I got my certification and a diploma, English language diploma from the DLI. Uh, Completing while I was that was my first time experiencing the USA. I saw a lot of things that were there, a lot of the regular Army, the Air Force, and I was able to understand a lot of the English over there, because that was the main thing, because you have to talk to everyone in English. After completing the DLI, Defense Language Institute, receiving the diploma, I got on April 9th, I went to the 2016. On December 12th, I went to the USA to the 2015. And then after that, and April April 6th, I went to the April 9th, I went to the North Carolina over there and started up the key course over there. So through all the selections, all those everything like that, by going through. So I've met a lot of the people that have been with me in Afghanistan, some best friends, some good people, and that was the greatest opportunity for me to go there and talk to the people and negotiate with the people. A lot of the information, everything. That was the good moment. 2000 February 9, 2017 was the year, the time that I was supposed to be leaving back to Afghanistan and going back there. So the training for me. Now, was just a new thing. There was a lot of things. Even I was been already the Afghan Special Forces, the training, the key course back over there. The difference I've saw is the time. In Afghanistan, we were just ahead a few months to complete the training, but back in the USA, that was not a few months, that was a years. You have to go to selection, and after that, all the MOS, SUT, Robin Sage, and FSD, SEER, all those things like that. That was a long process, everything like that. That was a tiresome process for a lot of the people I've seen. The difference I've saw, there was some X-ray was able to come, some civilian was able to come. In our army, you cannot come if you're not commando. You were not able to come to the special forces. Some people even had a lower rank, everything like that. But again, the training was the same as for everyone, and that was a perfect training for me. I was honestly not happy that much with the training. I was super, super tired. But again, that was a good thing for me, because when I go back to Afghanistan and I have all those diploma and paperwork with me, certification of the graduation of the key course, that would be the biggest thing for me.
So how often would you say Afghans were allowed to go to the Q course?
So the thing is, like, most of the thing, I was not the only foreigner who was joining the key course over there, but so far I know one of our sergeant major at the big time when the commando was just a brigade and I was in the commando, Sergeant Major Wafa. He's right now working at the Q course over there, and he is, I think, doing some SFOP stuff over there, and kind of the mentors, cultural advisors over there right now. The same, the Q course in Fort Bragg right now. He was the first guy who came to the Q course over there, completed the Q course, everything. And then me and Nizamuddin from the ANASOF, or the second people, me and Nizamuddin is my other friend. He's located in Florida right now. plus with me, the other two guys from the commando. One is Ibrahim, Mohammed Raza Ibrahim, and also one of the Major Jamil. God bless him. He rest in peace. He died, and they put the ID assassinate him when he went back to Afghanistan with me. So those were just several people specifically. So far, I'm tracking when I was talking with the cadre over there, with the first battalion who was supporting the training for the key course over there. That we have 4 people at the same time and 2 other guys. So 6 people were able to go to the key course and complete the course.
And when you graduated, if I'm getting this correct, you earned the 18 Bravo MOS. Is that correct?
Yes. So the thing for the Afghan NCOs that we had just a specific things we can choose, which is the Charlie, which is the engineering, and 18 Bravo, which is the weapons sergeant. That's the only thing was available for the NCO. My rank was this master sergeant, but I was supposed to go to the Bravos because that was SFC sergeant first class or staff sergeant rank job, and I was not. Maybe I was going to. Not going to do the same job in Afghanistan, but they say that it's a good opportunity for you to go to the US so you can learn something new and also you can share your knowledge with them. So I graduated as 18 Bravo. My other buddy, he graduated as a 18 Charlie, and also the 2 commandos was with me. One commando, he was NCO, also he went to 18 Charlie. The captain, he went to the Alpha. And before us, the 2 people who were also the NCOs, they went to the 18 Bravo.
Would you say that going to the Q course gave you more tools than you had before?
I would say yes. Yes, because it gave me the more patience with a lot of things. As I say, like we were going to the Afghan Q course for almost like a 4 month and then conducting another 6 month mission with the people, the evaluation, everything like that. So that was just having hands-on things. Here in the US, when I came to the Q course, it gave me totally different things. With the specifically, as you guys know, the Afghanistan is dry, humid, and here in the Fort and that was super humid. So also we do not have that much a lot of big green zones, something like that. A big mount, Afghanistan, the mountain here is a little bit out of the flat area, but a lot of the tree with the hot weather, everything like that. Picking up some, that was my first time to use the chlorine, using water, pick up the dirty water from around, put the chlorine in there, drink it. How to survive all kind of the war at the green zone, everything, and specifically some new tactics, some new names, some. The biggest thing in the combat tactic was not that much big, but when I went to the Bravo, and a friend of mine went to the Charlie, and the other captain went to the Alpha, we were able to see a big difference. There was a lot of things that we were not able to learn in Afghanistan because due to the limited equipment facilities and also the limited time of the job. So I've saw a lot of things specifically in the Green Beret over here that I copied. And when I went back to Afghanistan, I was able to kind of share all things with the Afghan Special Forces at the time. Specifically, those all mission. We were Robin says you going over there, how to conduct what is the real mission and real job of the special force is. That was the important thing, the concept to get it, because in Afghanistan most of the time we were using the special forces, the big force, and the people are tough people, blah blah blah, everything like that, and they're strong people, but they're strong. We were talking about the physical, by the body. But in Afghanistan, we were not talking too much about the no. They're not just strong by the body; they are strong by the brain. They make a plan and they do a lot of other things also, like a politicians, like other peoples, like a general. So those were the things, the concept I picked up over here when I came to the key course. And by the time during the time I was over here, the good thing was like I was able to see like we had a SSG from the Pakistan captain. His name was Captain Masood. Zahid Masood, he was my best friend. Even that we Afghan do not like Pakistani, specifically the Pakistani military, since he was Pashtun, and I had a great friendship with him. Everything, so he was my best friend. We had a good connection. Uh, then that's how you have to communicate because we were not able to go outside of the country, conduct operation with the people, like communicate with a lot of the regular army and some other drill or rehearsal, anything out of our country. So that was the first time like facing me with the Pakistani SSG captain. build a good friendship, everything like that, and negotiate with each other a lot of things like what they know, what we know. Then later, also we had a from the Indonesian sergeant first class from there, Java. He was a nice guy. We had a guy from Estonia. We had a guy from the Hungary, Bulgaria, Peru, Jordan, and also we had one master sergeant from the, and also one captain from the South Korea. So we had a good team over here. The people from Japan over there. So big international students was over there, kind of build a friendship with them, kind of connection with them, exchange our information. I would say that among all of them, the Afghan forces and the U.S. forces, we had the same ideology and everything like that. And we were able to understand most of the thing because we have been in the real fight and we have been in the real battlefield. Uh, Rather than other unit that I talked about their name because they have never been to the war for longer and they had a just limited ideology of the mission, limited ideology of the special operation, of the training, everything like that.
Okay. And so when you graduate from the course, I want to say you had 2 more deployments, right?
After when I went to Afghanistan.
Yeah, when you returned to Afghanistan from
Yeah.
Fort Bragg.
Oh yeah. So when I returned back to Afghanistan, what happened is I was able to complete my paperwork, everything, and return back to the First Special Forces AB over there. As soon as I landed over there, as I told you, the Americans were a little bit separately working with the commando, and they were so limited. There were not a lot of Americans left in Afghanistan at that time, 2017. So there were limited people that were conducting operation, and they were working with specific people. Uh, as soon as I got over there, the somehow they came to the AUB over there, and the captain from the 7 groups faces me and started talking with me. And he was not expecting that somebody will be able to speak that much perfect English, not just English, and he will be graduated from the Q course and will be here back from about like a 3 months. So as soon as I had a conversation with him, and he said, "Can we talk separately?" I say, "Why is everything okay?" He said, "No, I just got some questions to talk to you and ask you." I said, "Okay." So we got to the side, we had a conversation with each other, and he asked me like about the key course, everything like that. And he said, "Oops, I think we got a place where we have to work." It's not like the commander was not good. The commander was perfect, but you know, if I was special forces and work with the special forces with the limited people with the same ideology, that gonna make my job more easier. Rather than controlling the big platoon or company, it's perfect for me. It's the best for me to take one ODA with 15 people and take care of the same things with the 30 people or 50 people. And he told me that when you have a time to talk about it. So I jumped up over there and I did a meeting with them, and I was able to kind of like take the special forces out of the base again with the special forces. We went to the first mission with these guys to the Black Hawk. The camp Black Hawk was located in the North District in the Wardak Province. That was we take the U.S. Special Forces for almost like 5 days over there and conduct several operations over there. After we came back, so the deployment for this OD was done. Then another 10 groups came over. The 10 groups, they introduced me to the 10 groups. So I was able to conduct a few operations more with these people, go around. After conducting operation, the first group from the that first group ODA, they called me from the Daki to come and kind of help him out with the situation because the police special unit, they were good, but they still needed some help with the stuff that need to be done by the special forces. So there was a little bit different between the police special forces and the commando, the army special forces. That's why they called me in to help him out. Team sergeant's name was Bruce, and he was a perfect, awesome guy, and he was a tough guy. So he called me to come over and help him out. I jump up, I did, and we were supposed to be there for almost like a 4 week. And after 4 weeks, we were supposed to leave that area. But what happened is that was upside down. As soon as we conduct operation, they called the AUB, and also after AUB, they called all the way to the core. They told them that we need these guys more, so they were able to keep us over there for more than 3 months over there. We were conducting the operation over there. As soon as I got back for 2 weeks, I brought my command special forces back to the Moorhead. Andy Marxano 7035, the ODA. They were there after the 10 groups leave. They got there. And Andy came and talked to me, Captain Robert, Robert, and also Andy Maxano. Both of them, they came and we were just making. And the good thing about Andy was a perfect guy, the funny guy. He was always, even in any situation, even if there's things going on, the people are going to be in a certain, worse situation, he's gonna make you kind of smile and give you something like, okay, there's someone beside me that give me hope that I'm gonna smile a little bit and there's nothing going on. So he was the perfect. He was just making fun of a lot of things, and he was serious about the job also, but he was not going to make you like you're going to die right now. No, he was always giving you the idea that no, we are going to win. Even you were losing, but he was always giving you the good hope that no, you're gonna win and gonna make you more motivation, give you more motivation and make you more stronger. So me and him decided, okay, what we're gonna do? Okay, we're gonna go to Jalris district and we're gonna be conducting operation over there. That's blah blah blah. We did, and we went to the mission, and that was a perfect mission, everything like that. I saw him. He was how he was controlling his ODA guys, and how he was doing all everything else with the air support, everything like that. We got back from the mission and we took the pictures with the group pictures. I still have them on a phone with me. And I say, okay, yeah, that was a great mission to conduct with you guys, and that was great to meet you guys. But we will be leaving maybe the next day to the Daki, and we'll be conducting operation with the first group. And he said, well, can you tell the team sergeant over there that we already found the ODA and we'll be conducting operation with them? I say, hey man, as you were American, they're also American. I've been with them for 3 months. I've been with you for one night. So we just conducted one operation with them. I'm conducting several operations, and that's going to be hard for me to tell him because he's a good guy. The Drew was he was the same like Andy. He was amazing. He was not funny, but he was amazing conducting operation and control his ODA and take care of stuff on the mission and the war going on. Uh, he said, I'm going to take care of that thing. So he was able to talk to his sergeant major, and sergeant major was able to make a call to the Drew Busick and tell him that, hey, man, what's going on? And that was the thing I got a little bit in the trouble with the both ODA. So Drew called me and said that, hey, can you help me with the situation? I say, well, what can I do for you? Can you send me some ODA that is a perfect special forces ODA to me so they can help me out the same way that you do with me? It's not like they were not able to, but they needed a partner that is trustworthy and the people they can, depend on. They can depend on each other. And I say, okay. So I had one of my NCO. He used to be working for me. And so his name was Kasim. God bless him. He's died also. I called him that. Hey, say, can you guys support that mission back in the Daki for almost like 2 months or something like that? He said, I can do it, but talk to the sergeant major and the colonel. And I called this colonel and sergeant major and made them and sent the 2ODA to them. So they were also able to get that 2ODA, and we started conducting a mission with Andy Maxano. Andy was the great person, to be honest with you. That was a great person. We were going to a different area, like a lot of area. They have a lot of the video of me and a lot of the pictures. I have them also with me. All those missions that we have conducted. So that was the time that Andy to say that we need a liaison officer over here with me, specifically for the Moorhead ODA to take care of the things after we leave, so you can support other ODA also as well. So that was the time of the specifically me living in the Afghan base. That was the last time of living in the Afghan base because the Andy Marshall went to the ANASOF commander and also the sergeant major and told her that, hey, we need Bill to come to our base and live with us and take care of stuff. And they were talked to the colonel, the first SFK colonel, and then AV major. And they told him, sergeant major, everybody told that, okay, we are good with that thing unless he support our AV, take the guys out of the mission and, everything. So I was able to they gave me the yellow badge by the time, and I started with living in a Moorhead and taking care of not just the mission that I've done alone, partner forces. Then I went to become a liaison officer. That was the time that I was supposed to be on every mission. Before I had a chance to not be part of any mission, some mission, but then I got stuck and I have to be part of every mission because the U.S. forces, the special forces, was not just conducting operation with the first special forces, are not just with the 6th Commando. They were also conducting an operation with the KKA. They were also conducting operation with the PSU, and also they were conducting operation with the the police special forces, another unit which was working 333 and 222 and 444. Also, they were conducting the operation with the NDS. So I have to be the part of all those things, which I was just a lonely liaison for the Afghan Minister of Defense Special Forces in Commando. So that was the mission before. And when I jumped up as this liaison officer, started living with American, even same, I was sergeant major, but I was taking care of the liaison job to make a good connection, all the support Afghan forces needed, our American needed some Afghan forces to go with them to the mission. That thing started up. I was also conducting every mission with them.
All right, man. And so how long did you work with Andy on multiple rotations, or was it just
So
like
the first, the time he came to the Afghanistan, the last time, and he was me and him was living next to each other for 6 months on his deployment. That was the time. I didn't know him before, but the 6 months we have been conducting operation together. I had a, I mean, he was always like me and him was next to each other. Every time he was going anywhere, he was going to have any meeting with the Afghan side, anything like that. He was taking me with him. We didn't say that they had a they I mean, he was not trusting anyone else. Yes, he was trusting everyone else, but with me, he was going based on a friendship. And since we are both Green Beret and we understand most of the, the military wars, everything like that, some Terps, we had a perfect Terps over there, but some of them were new. They didn't know some of the wars, the military wars, everything like that. So I was able to understand all those things. The second thing, when we were going to ask for something, so as a Terp, you ask something is a different way. When you ask as a sergeant major, for other American master sergeant something, that's a different thing. So that's why I was effective more because I know where to go if we stuck in this position for Afghan forces support, what other alternative route we can use. So I knew those all things, how to get the support from who and everything, and I knew all those Afghan forces, Afghan commanders, generals, the NCOs, everyone, sergeant major. So that was the only 6 month deployment he had over there with me, and I was next to him for 6 months straight.
all right, man. And so we can just talk about your last rotation. And then after that we can just move on to the Kabul airport evac. And
Okay.
then after that we can just talk about
Yeah.
whatever means most to you.
Yep. So what happened after all those U.S. forces, everything with the last OD, the 10 groups came over. Uh, when they came over to the Kabul, so they were trying to go out, but the problem was because the U.S. already knew that they're leaving and they're not going to be here for longer. They just didn't want to put their own guys in the risk. Most of the times, the 10 groups was just able to kind of come, keep continue training the Afghan forces on the weapons. Some of the Commandos, special forces, the PSU, some other NDS unit, they would come to the base, and that was also supporting me. As soon as they left the base, I went back to my unit and I was supporting my AUB and taking care of my AUB. While this everything was going on, I was able to, since I was liaison officer, I mean, I had a connection with everyone all over Afghanistan, all the command and special forces and NDS and police. Uh, I was talking to the guys and I was able to see with my own eyes everything. Things are collapsing slowly, 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 slowly. Some of our friends died, some of our friends got captured, some of everything was, the people leaving stuff around. So when the collapse, everything started up all the way to the Logar province, the Daki, where I used to be working over there. I talked to the guy, what's going on? He said, we put all the weapons, everything in a Humvee, and we have our own convoy. We're just waiting on the orders to receive the order and execute it and just leave the Logar province and go to the Kabul. Which was I think that was a suicide because everything, all Highway 1, everything was completely filled up by the Taliban. And how are you going to go through? You have to kill everyone on the way if you see anyone and get to the Kabul. And then also they're going to shoot you. They're going to blow up you under ID and everything like that. But they were ready. They say anything happened, we have to do something before something happened. So all those things they were ready to, but there was no one there to give them the orders them specifically, like what to do, what to not do. Everyone was confused. The Minister of Defense was left. A lot of the generals that were just left. Only some lower officers, NCOs was over there, and they were not leaving the bases without any decision from the higher. Same like me and my other NCOs, me, I was the AUB sergeant major, and there was Izzat is a sergeant major, Imran, some other guy. We were all together over there. We say, okay, how are we going to leave? We do not have anyone over here, and this is the big responsibility. And going outside is not going to help us also. So we have to defend ourselves and do something. Otherwise, we receive a kind of a direction from someone. What happened is that they received the order that they say, hey, leave your weapons and everything, give it to the Taliban, and just leave there. So that AOB, the guy that just left the place, everything, they just without even giving to the Taliban any weapons, everything like that, they left it on a base and they just quit because they say, I don't want to face those people that we were killing them to yesterday and today I'm giving my weapons to them. That's not a perfect idea. So everyone else from the AUB, they left the lower and get in the cars and just left the base, and the commander was able to transfer everything to them. As soon as my brother, he's a taxi driver, I was inside in the base, and I was asking my brother, calling them, hey, where are they? So about a mile away from the Camp Moorhead, and he told me, hey, man, there's a Taliban over here. I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah, they're over here. Okay, that was the thing that got more serious. All general, everyone left, and just we NCOs were taking care of the big Moorhead base where it used to be the generals and the officers, everyone else over there. Uh, that was the toughest decision to make, what to do, what to not do. But we got a report that it's not just the Taliban coming around the base. There's a lot of the people that they're trying to loot the ammunition depot site and also some other places. And there are just thieves and robbers. I told my AUB guys, okay, you guys going in that way. And the Izzat, he's a sergeant major, another say he's going to the Gulbagh side. I went to the depot side and he went to the Gulbagh side. So he was able to shoot down some of the people that were looting, stuff like that, from the police checkpoint close by the Gulbagh bridge. And also they were coming around. They're taking the things away from the Humvee and from the Rangers and take the peoples away. Everything kind of bring a peace about 1 mile to the west. And I went to the east with my guys because we had a big depot of the weapon ammunition depot to the east of the Moorhead over there, which is, if you see on the map, it's the historical ammunition depot. That was a huge one. There were the people coming from this village, and they were just looking for to loot. They were not Taliban. They were looting those ammunition, everything like that. I sent the guys over there with the snipers, everything on the top of the hill to protect that thing, because if we got in deeper in the situation, we will need those all ammunition, and so we have to have a safe route over there. I got over there, and those all 7 people, they were trying to loot everything and started shooting at my guys, and I had no other choice to shoot back. We shot them all 7 together. They all died over there. We recovered their body, everything like that. They were civilian because the Taliban were different. Civilian mean they were the people who were not Taliban, but they were looters. They were just looking over there to loot the ammunition and some military equipment from there. So they were not a civilian like an innocent civilian. They were not. So they were the looters. So that's what we did. The Taliban came to the another stage of the around the base. We were able to push them back from to the eastern Charasyab side. But there was now not helping because the rest of the country is collapsed, and just Moorhead is not going to be able to defend themselves. And for how long? We have everything limited. I talked to some of the special forces friend, the Green Beret. They were being contact because I was the one who was deeply in contact with all those people. I was calling them, what's going to happen? Is there anything upcoming? Do you guys have any contact with any general, anyone like that can help us with the situation? They were also saying that there's no one left behind, so what we can do. And I was saying that Colonel Coburn was that I was trying my best to reach him out, and also I was trying my best to reach out to the Matt Scottman. I was trying my best to reach out to Scottman, some other people also around. All those people, like the team sergeants from another ODA section. But that was a hard and big decision because I went around and the people who were supporting me from everything like that, they had no contact with no one over there to tell them what to do, what to not do. So we came back to the unit and I say, hey man, I don't really see any hope anymore, because if we continue fighting, fight for who? Well, because no president anymore, he left, the Minister of Defense left, all the other generals left, everyone else is left. We're only people over here left. Okay, let's start fighting and supporting ourselves. But for how long? We need food, we need water, we need ammunition, everything like that. When the rest of the country is collapsed, I'm not sure that's going to be the right thing to just defend ourselves in the morning, because it doesn't make a sense. We cannot uh, free our country from the mortgage alone, because everything else is gone, and we should have someone above us to support us. And also, with being support, we should have a kind of someone that we are fighting for. I know we're fighting for our country, but there's nothing left behind anymore. Everything is, we're controlled. We were locked four side. So before we died with the worst way, is the best way for you guys is just take your weapons with you guys and leave everyone for your own safety. Take your pistol with you, because I don't want to die, kill anyone innocent around, or I don't want to take you guys' life for me or for my own ego, everything like that. So, and I'm also not a big commander to give you the permission to shoot back, or just defend yourself. That's going to be out of my control, and that's going to be out of my order. I'm not that person to give you those orders. Somebody should be above us to give us those orders. So me, I was the guy left, and I still remember as soon as they got outside of the ECP, I've started the Taliban with them, and they were coming in. They called me that, hey, wait, help us, man. We're not saying anything to you guys. I say, hey, I'm not interested in anything. There's a lot of people inside. They can help you out. I'm just not. I was living next to the ECP. That's why I just left and I went to the home. And when I went to the home, so that was a lot of my special forces and commando guys were coming to my home, because they were not able to go outside and walk to their home, which was living in Nangarhar, some other provinces with the uniform that was dangerous. So they were asking for the clothes. All I had, I gave my clothes to them, civilian clothes, my brother clothes, my nephew clothes, uh, anything I had in my house, in my flip flops, everything like that. I gave it to them, and even I gave them money. Some of the guys also to go back and safely to the house. But some of the people, as I told you, there was a lot of looters. There were a lot of the thieves and robbers were outside on the road before the Taliban even reached the most of the positions. They were looting the soldiers with no weapons. Even they were taking their phones and everything on the way when they were leaving to the home, which hurt me a lot. Like, these are the old people that we were fighting for them. We were defending them, and now the situation came that we are going back to our country, and everything is collapsed because of our generals, some politicians. They are looting us on the way. So that was a little bit the point that hurt us.
So, during the evacuation, I know that you were still, I know that you were hiding out,
Yep.
just because of the risk there. So, when you actually got your family to the gate, what happened, and why couldn't they, leave Afghanistan?
So about all those things is those who were conducting the operation in the special forces and the commando, they had a specific reason. Okay, I was a soldier, I was a captain, whatever. I was someone working with the Afghan government. But my story was a little bit different from everyone else. Why? There was a reason behind it. As I told you that everyone else was thinking the commando and special forces are not Muslim, they're infidel, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then I was working specifically with American, living with them in on base, and I was supporting a lot of the missions, a lot of things with the execution mission, everything like that. So there was some people who was working for the Taliban. They had a sympathy with the Taliban and the commando and the commando corps. They were giving information. Who was supporting those missions? What's going on? What's going on? What not going on? So they know that I am the one who was just among all the Afghan special forces. I was the one who was liaison officer directly to the U.S. forces, and I had access to a lot of the U.S. bases, everything like that, and I was going everywhere with them. So they thought I'm an American spy. They were not looking at me as the Afghan Special Forces AUB Sergeant Major. They were not looking at me that way anymore. They were just thinking that I'm an Afghan, but I was working for the American and I'm their spy. And those all things happening, the bomb dropping, everything like that, the mission execution, everything like that, because of me. So that was a little bit hard for me to stay at the same position, because they know that thing. I was the high valuable target to them. So I spent the night, the first night, because they were busy in Taliban. The second night, I went to the house, my sister's house. I spent there a night. The daytime I was coming to another. We have another house that was the renting house. I was leaving my renting house. I was going to my another, the one that my own house. I was going over there daytime. The nighttime, I was going to my sister's house again, just to avoid this thing. Well, the second day, the people came to my home and they were asking about me. And I had a highlight strike with me. They were asking about that. They were asking about a lot of other weapons, stuff like that. I say, well, those are all things. So my brother, and then another, my brother gave them a paperwork of the trucks, everything that we owned it. It's a private, it's not a government truck. Uh, by the August 16 or 17, the time that a lot of the people told me that go to the HKIA and take your family with you, everything like that. I'm on a special immigration visa, SIV holder, so I had a paperwork, everything like that. Me and my wife was supposed to be leaving September 16 on a visa to the USA with my family, everything like that. But that collapse happened a little bit earlier than that. So I took my family with me and everything the next day when I get out of my sister's house. And my brother was a taxi driver, so I put some of my uniform in the woman around the women's uniforms and stuff like that, so they're not gonna capture that and some other stuff. Afghan flags that I have it here with me. So we were driving, and we reached to the Taliban checkpoint. On the way that they were asking me to, we're gonna search the backpack, the big bag, the clothes, everything. I said, there's a female clothes over there. There's nothing in there. But they say we want to search it, and they were right because there were a lot of people that were, stealing a lot of weapons because there was no government at that time, existed nothing, and everybody was just stealing stuff around. But I said no, 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 because I knew that if they open the backpack, they're gonna see my uniform, all my multi-cam uniforms, and also my BDU's uniforms, and all the special forces patches, everything like that. And that's not gonna be a good idea, and that's gonna be the worst thing in front of my kids. I got in a fight with those guys, and I still have a little bit pain on my shoulders. They start beating me with the buttstock of the AK-47, everything like that. So my brother was able to kind of maintain everything like that, and then say, while my wife and my kids was inside. My wife is strong; she didn't say anything, but my kids were kind of crying. So we were able to kind of manage and not let them to search my backpack, and they just got we got rid of them. We went to the HKIA. When you go to the HKIA, there was no place for anything because Taliban was taking control outside of the HKIA, and that was super, super hard for everyone to get there. Thousands of people over there outside of the HKIA, and my wife was pregnant. She had a delivery maybe in a week or 3 days or 2 days, something like that. But that was not the first thing we were not able to do. But when we get over there, so I saw there's some people were got inside, and they were not going to leave the HKIA. So I think the U.S. Army, they were just, I'm not sure, Army or Marine, whoever, but they were shot some guys over there. But that guy was dead. And they put him in a body bag, everything like that, bring him outside. And well, I told my brother that, hey, we can do nothing today. So what we're going to do, let's help these guys out and bury the body. What we did, I opened the bag, and the guy was completely swollen. His body was like, oh my God, smell and everything like that. It was completely not able to see that face, everything was super, super worse in the situation. Then a few people got together, and we dig the grave for that guy. We buried him, everything like that, with my kids and my wives. Everybody was waiting for me in the car, and that was the day. And then I still have a picture of the grave. My daughter, she took it on her phone. We came back to the home place, everything like that. The second time I went to another place. As soon as I went to the second place, everything like that, that was also full of the crowd. To me, it was easy to get on the HKIA, but how would I take my 5 kids with me? And my wife is pregnant also. And if a little bit pressure come on her, she's gonna, that baby is gonna be gone. Or even something happened to my baby, that's gonna be the worst thing. So I decided, okay, not to take a risk of the wives and the kids or anything like that. I tried my best to put them far away and go close to the gate and take care of stuff like that, but nothing happened. Again, because there was not just one or two people. They were not looking at the papers, nothing like that. Everyone wanted to leave the country at that time. So that's going to be hard for me. Third time when I attempt, nothing happened. And I told my wife that let's go to the home. You're not feeling well. She was not really feeling well. I take her to the home, and I say, okay. In the evening time, I just say, okay, I'm going to go and see if I can find some kind of way. I came to the HKIA, and I was able to manage in one night. It's 100-meter yard, 100 meters distance, I was able to complete it and go through 100 meters in 8 hours. In 8 hours and 100 meters, because of the crowd, that was the longest and hardest thing. People were going to pass out over there. People were each bottle of water, which is a 10 Afghani, was being sold to the people in such a situation, 50 Afghani. Outside, the kids died, and they were just put them on a hisco up there. And because everybody was feared for themselves, which was some of the civilian, even some of the even citizens, some of the green card holder, everybody was scared. Like they were just. But some of the other people who have not been work, all the teenagers, everybody was thinking that we're going to America for free. So that's why that was hard for me. So as soon as I managed to go inside, I say how I'm going to try my best to bring my wife. We made a lot of things like that. A lot of the people reached me out to bring my wife on base. But as soon as I spent one night, the second night I was looking forward to bring my wife on the base. Uh, on 18th, that was the time that I received a call from my father that he said, "Well, I don't think so. They're going to be able to live with you anymore. You got a daughter, you got a baby." I said, "Okay, that's a good thing." So her name is Zainab. So I say, "Okay." So it's mean like we're not going to be able to go anymore because she's having a baby, and I'm not going to be able to move her. She's not going to be able to walk around. So I got in the aircraft and went to the Qatar. And from Qatar, spending one night over there, the hottest season ever I've seen. And I got and jump up in another aircraft at the C-17 Galaxy and went to Germany, spending 4 nights over there. Then I came to the Washington D.C. From Washington D.C. the straight I went to the uh, uh, Wisconsin, and I was there being processed. But before I go to come to the USA, I was in. As soon as I reached the Germany, the worst thing for me is I had not a lot of clothes, nothing with me, and I was out of everything. I was super super cold over there. I had no flip flop, no shoes, nothing with me. And I called the tank groups. It's a team sergeant, is Brian Belson. He's retired right. He's going to retire right now. I call him. He's a 10 group, and the guy was located. His Charlie was located in Germany. That hey, I need equipment. I sent him the list of the equipment, everything. That's what I needed, and they were able to bring it to me to there. And that was the time that I feel like yes, what I did was the perfect thing. I helped the Green Beret in Afghanistan, and now they're helping me in each step of the around the world. Even in Germany, I was not even hoping that. I mean, I was not thinking if that's something like that's going to happen. The people's going to reach me out in Germany, but they were able to bring me a big pack full of the foods and clothing and everything, and I got it over there. So that was the greatest feeling ever I had. And everybody was thinking like, "How do you know those people?" I said, "Well, I have a tons of people. They know me." So that was the evacuation. The HKIA, that I was receiving a lot of passport and everything from a lot of my friends, all the Green Beret. They were sending me a lot of the instructions, everything like that. Uh, all those things was right, but the problem was how to get in there. How to that was the problem. So that's why my kids and my wife were able to left behind because she got a baby, and I was inside of the base. And due to the too much crowd, everything like that, they were not able to. So uh, she got a baby. So what happened is, uh, can I postpone you for a minute if you don't mind?
Yeah, that's no problem, man. We can just cut it out.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm going to call this guy calling me again and again from the Washington D.C. About my wife and my family coming. You know, they had a flight on the June 5th, but due to the situation of everything, they were not able to because my son got suddenly super super sick. Went to the hospital for super super serious treatment. Yeah, so I'm gonna go through by the my wife and kids how they got to the Pakistan, what happened over there. So as soon as I fly to the Qatar and for Germany, everything like that. I think the Human First team were able to manage and reach out my wife and kids over there to my father and say that you guys are not safe over here since Bill was working on a different situation. So it's going to be better for you guys to get out of this area and leave for Pakistan. Uh, they called me when I was in the Germany, and it was a little bit hard for me to kind of get the network. I had no connection, nothing like that, but somehow I was able to manage through the Wi-Fi. And they say okay, so they went to the Spin Bulldog, and from Spin Bulldog, spending the 2 days on the crowd, everything of the sun, everything like that. They would manage to Pakistan, go Pakistan. My sister living over there. They went over there to live a little bit. Then they went to Islamabad. Um, My daughter had no paperwork, nothing at all at that time because there was no government exist. So the Human First was able to make them and a fake passport, all the visa, everything like that. Once they went to the by the care team to the Islamabad International Airport to fly to the Qatar. Everyone else went through good because the rest of my family had a passport, but the youngest baby, she had a one that was the fake one, and they got stopped over there. My wife was talking with me and telling me that what's going on. I tried my best to talk to the immigration officer, but he asked me for, can you guys pay $500, $600? I said, the money is not the problem, but this thing is real legit. Honestly, I didn't know that it's not legit. That was the fake passport. I was ready to give them my money, but I didn't know about things. I thought if I tell them, yeah, I'm ready to give you the money, so that will be 100% sure that the passport is fake. They might have a hesitation, but now I'm telling them, yes, I'm ready to give them the money. It's mean I'm accepting that this is the fake. So they took my wife's and kids all passports, national ID card from them, everything like take them to the police station. I told my father don't leave the airport, but he was able to kind of manage. Give the money to the Pakistani police over their police station, everything, release my kids and everything, and take them back in 1 hour, everything back from them. That was the worst day for my wife and my kids because they were there, just understand. Pakistani were just thinking of their own money to get the money from us out of us and made the FIR also. By the time they took my wife's phones, everything, and those are all gone. Somehow I was managed to the next step after 20 days. I was able to receive my passport of my wife and also the national ID card of my own kids from them by giving them again like the $3,000. And because I needed those things, if I don't have a passport or nothing like that, it's going to be hard for me to get the new one because there was no way to get a new passport, nothing. So I was giving them anything they wanted. I was working here out of my ass in America and sending all the money to the Pakistani police and FIR guys to take care of those things. So that's how, and a lot of time, there's a lot of stuff happened before that. Scott man, he helped me a lot. Pineapple, and he was a great man. He's a great man. I really appreciate him. Somehow I was send the money, spend more money, more things, release everything, and completely finish my case over there with the judge, everything. But I was not able to receive my wife's phone, which had a tons of documentation, everything over there, and that all those other things. My daughter got sick over there. She was almost to die over there, and another kid got sick. I had no other choice than rather than because the State Department was not asking me anything, no response. Care team was not responding to me. U.S. Embassy, anything like UCS nobody was responding to anything. I told my wife and kids go to the Peshawar and stay there for a little bit of while. They stay a little bit of while. I never hear anything. And then Ramadan came and I said, well, I don't really see any hope of them coming over here because we already attempt one time and that got failed. So I told them go back to Afghanistan because the situation in Pakistan, politically and the security and everything else getting worse. So I decided to take them back to Kabul. I brought them back to the Kabul, and they're in the Kabul right now, located. And there was some of the stuff like the fake passport made us like they were going to be here for more than 1 year right now, but the fake passport made us to go through a lot of the situation, all the money, everything I was supposed to be supporting my family with, give it to the Pakistani police and judge and those other people to release my passports and my national ID card and those things. So there was no hope at all in that.
And so with your family in Pakistan, after the police stopped detaining them, what happened next? And then what is happening now in that process?
So when the immigration office said that this passport is a fake, everything, so they took my wife and my other kids' passports, which they were not supposed to be taking except their mom. So they took the passport national ID card and they arrested them at the spot. They take them to the police stations, and as soon as they reach the police station, in our Pashtun culture, this is super, super against, where women do not have to go through anything situation like that. They were not supposed to be visiting the police station. So that's why as soon as they reached the police station, my father followed them and go over there. And I mean, for my own, like for the culture and for the safety of my kids and for safety of my wife, everything like that. I give them. They offer me the money. That much money we will be looking forward to receive from you to receive, like to release your to my brother grandson and also your daughter. So I was able to accept it, and I did it. So we gave them a bunch of money, and they released him. Then we talked to them. What about the phone and the passport? And they say they're already on FIR. We're gonna receive. We're gonna give it to you guys back. I say, okay. What about the kids? When he say, okay, slowly, slowly. The next time I went, they were able to give us with a bunch of money again my kids' passports. The next time I went, they were able to give me my wife's national ID cards with a bunch of money. The next time they were able to make this profit out of me, and I was the good source of income for them. And I had no other choice. I had no other uh, no other choice to do anything like that. I was supposed to be doing them to survive and provide everything to them, to get my wife passports. The last thing was receive my wife passport, and after going through the lot of the trial and everything to the judge, um, spending the money on these people's FIR, all those Pakistani uh, police and other people, they received it from me. Uh, the phone that I was supposed to be, I have a judge order that I'm supposed to receive the same phone from the police over there. But when I went over there, they were attempted again to threaten my father of arresting him for all those things. We did you fraudulating everything like that. You made this fake password, and I say I don't know anything of those things. It's none of my stuff that I did it. Those were came to me by the human first, and they were helping me. They didn't do it on purpose, but that's the only way, and that's everything how everything worked. Because before, the only thing we were missing, they didn't told me that this passport is fake before you're flying. Tell us, so we will manage, and we will give some money to the Pakistani immigration office, and they will not stop it. So that was the thing, and they were living in the Islamabad, and my family was not able to leave Islamabad due to their daily going to the police station and all those everything situation. And I was going to pay a big money of the living over there in the hotel, everything.
And so now that you are in Texas, what is the process like? And do you think that your family's gonna come over anytime soon?
So as soon as I came over here, I was everyone else has filed their asylum. Since I was already completed my press and everything like that, I filed for I-485 for my green card, which I received like about 3 weeks ago. I have a green card, my green cards, but to my wife and kids, everything is going to be a little bit different right now because I'm still waiting on a care team. They're sending me the documents, everything like that, to complete it again. Are they going to change the status of my case anymore? Or are they going to be coming on the same status? So whenever they contact me, I'll be able to understand because now I have a green card. Before I was not, I had no green card at that time. So the process for me is I'm living over here in Dallas, Texas, over here. It's a great place over here. I'm gonna say so far, more Afghan over here. But the process for them, I don't really see the big hope at that time that what's going on was not gonna happen with them. How? Because it's not just my wife and my family. There's a lot of the people. What makes me sad is the people who apply later. When in the USA with me, they apply here in the US, and their wife and kids are here right now. But my wife and kids are the process, even that were completed in Afghanistan 2021, are still in Afghanistan, and I don't know why is it taking so tons of the process, everything like that. So the USS is processing all those paper, everything like that. But I'm not sure they're prioritizing some of the old paperwork first. They just whatever come first. I think they're just serving first. That's the only thing. So I have no idea right now what's going to be the next process for the wives and kids because I got a green card. With the green card, I'll be able to change my status, something like that. Or they're going to be able to come on the same SIV program, which is I'm working with the friends of mine right now, and hopefully they will be able to give me some best choices idea that lead me to have my wife and kids over here because I've never seen them for 2 years, and when I was in Afghanistan with the COVID-19, I was not able to see them for 1 year. And also before, when I was in the Q course over here, 1.5 years. And also when I was conducting operation with the U.S. Green Beret, I never had a chance to go there for up to 7 or 8 months or 9 months. So I have all 6 kids. I never seen even my daughter. I never touched her. I seen her on the TV, but I never touched her, which is a big hope for me to see her. And she's now 2 years old. This August, she will be 2 years old, and I still never seen her. So that's a little bit kind of pain. And having my kids close to me, so I'll be able to take care of them. Like right now, my son, he got sick, and we sent him all the way to the Pakistan. He went to the Pakistan, and he had a brain stroke, some other thing, had a brain problem, everything. Uh, work hard and just send him in there and give it to the Pakistani people, uh, sucking our blood. However, so he's getting better right now. He's back to the Kabul, my son, and but the thing is going to be easy for me if I'm close to them. I'll be able to take care of them all the time, and my father and my brother and everyone else trying their best also as well. But as a father, it's my responsibility to be taking care of them, which I can't because I'm far, and I'm waiting on a little bit of while to see what's going to be the process soon. Hopefully, the State Department or even the care team or someone's going to reach me out and something's going to happen. Otherwise, I did my best all the way from the Pakistan, Afghanistan way. I completed my all documentation, paperwork, everything. And there's nothing left that I never, and there's no door, I think, left that I did not knock on them.
Understand, man. I'm so sorry to hear about that, but hopefully, they do come over here, and hopefully, you talking on this podcast, gets you some exposure to help out. So one thing that we like to do with our other guests is we like to ask them, if you could go back to when you joined the military, would you do it all over again, or would you change anything, or?
Oh, so if I go to the army again and the thing typed in, you mean like change something in there? Oh, you want me to, if I want any changes in there?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really, for your podcast, I don't really see that. Those were the things, but if there's anything, I didn't say anything against anyone, I think so. That is going to be against any religious or any politician specifically. I think that was everything based on the truth. And those were everything. I was, it's just like a 2 hour podcast that we have been talking. It's not going to be like to cover everything, but I've just brought some of the stuff that I was kind of concerned about it. But those were the things that I say. I don't really see any changes in there to bring it. But if you have anything, if you see something that you feel that it thing is going to be changed, bring it upside down, something like that, you do. You get in.
I actually, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear enough. I actually meant, if you could go back to when you joined the Afghan Army,
Mm-hmm.
would you do everything all over again?
Oh, you want me to go through again from the Afghan Army stuff?
Like, if you could do it again.
Oh, if I could go back again to the Afghan Army, what I'm going to
exactly.
do?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I would say that if I could go back to the Afghan Army and, it's a once a soldier is always a soldier, like the Marines say, once a Marine, always a Marine. I would say that, I mean, I was not the highest ranked officer or NCO at that time at the beginning, but I would say if I go back and I have the opportunity to go back to the Afghan Army and start from the beginning, everything like that, I might bring some changes in try my best to tell my soldiers and everyone else, the people around me, that I was not able to tell them what is life around the world and what is the life in Afghanistan. Most of the people over there was uneducated, and the most important thing is that every military, especially like in the country of Afghanistan, who have been through in the war for 40 years, and the people are uneducated. There's a lot of things mystic maybe happened by the people have done it that was not on the purpose but mystically, and not having an education, like an understanding of something situation. So if I have an authority to changing something like that, the best thing is going to be removing all those jihadist Mujahideen commander who just had a fighting experience against the Soviet Union and destroying the bridge and stuff like that, removing all those people. Some of the people that destroying the future of the young generation, they were all living in the past. They were all so full of the corruption. They were all so full of the hate against each other. You know that in the 90s, there was a war happened between the civil war between Pashtun, Tajik, Uzbek, and Hazara. And those were the people who were doing that thing. And then they become in the power and was doing the same things again, showing to their own people. So I think that our young generation, specifically our young army, needed some new young people who were trained with just to be working for Afghanistan, the great Afghanistan, to be and help Afghanistan, and to have a good communication and a better communication with the international forces and troops, and how to take advantage of the time that we had with the U.S. forces. And that was not going to happen. Those all things was not going to happen because of those people wrong decision. This thing happened. So, if I have a chance, it was, and I can change something like that. I was going to uh, tell the people that just we young generation need a young people, a young officers, young NCOs, everything to take care of the stuff. So we'll have a good communication, a better communication with all other people around the world, and we'll be able to manage how things run regularly, not based on my ethnicity, not based on my past, like I was a great Mujahid leader or something like that. So if I had powers and I would go to the army and I had a power, I would remove those people out of the army and just, give the American permission more to train Afghan forces to stay over there and help them out for almost like not just 2014 to 2020. So we had a good opportunity. We had a great chance to take advantage of it. But because of some peoples around us, they ruin, and they just destroy those other
All right, man. So I don't really have anything else for you.
things.
I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to talk about your career. It's not very often that we hear stories from people who were actually in the Afghan army. We always hear stories about people who served in Afghanistan, but
Yep.
never about people who were in the army over there. So I really do appreciate taking time out of your day to come talk to me.
The important things for me, my message will be to all the U.S. forces. I would say that, I mean, a lot of time when I'm talking to my friend right now, they say that I'm sorry for what we did in the country. I say, no, you guys don't have to be sorry. The soldier have done their job. They did their best, not just when they were in Afghanistan, even when we came over here. I will say that the military family, specifically my family is the Green Beret. They did more than what they were supposed to be doing for me. They're the greatest people. Each one of them, they're the greatest people ever. I had a great opportunity to talk to them, have worked with them, everything like that. As I told you, like even when I was in Afghanistan, they were here in America. They were supporting me, helping with a lot of things. On the way coming to the USA, they supported me. When I got over here, I never feel that I'm in a new country or in a different country. I would feel I'm safe in Afghanistan because I was receiving all kind of support and help from these people. So the big things I would say that I really appreciate all the U.S. forces who have served in Afghanistan. Thanks to their service, they did their best. If something happened, but politically, the politicians, that's a different thing. That's not none of our business to take care of them or to talk about it, but that's politician side. But we soldiers did our best. We died over there. We lost our legs. We lost our eyes. We suffer all those kind of things. But with the name of the humanity, with the name of the serve for our country, and also for the other peoples. So I really appreciate it, and thanks a lot for all of the U.S. forces who help Afghanistan and who serve in Afghanistan. It's a war. Things happen. Might be their upside and downside happen. My country had been through a lot of the war and suffer a lot from the Soviet. After the Soviet left, we thought it's getting to be peaceful time, but Mujahideen got stuck in each other, and civil war started out, and Taliban came, and then everything else. But we had a golden chance after coming the NATO forces and the U.S. forces to Afghanistan, which we didn't take advantage of it the right way, and we just ruined everything. That was our fault. I do not really blame the U.S. forces, whatever happened. That was the highest people. If they did something that was politician, that's none of my business. But again, the U.S. forces the U.S. Army, all those people, they have did a great job over there. And specifically my family is a special forces, the Green Beret. I really appreciate all of you guys' service, and you guys are the great people, and you guys show me the real brotherhood here in America. Even when I came over here, everyone is tons of busy with a lot of the life stuff like that, but they always find a time to reach me out and help me with anything.
And just to return that back to you, I do appreciate your service, even if it wasn't in service of my country. In a way, you were helping Americans out. So, like I said, thank you for taking the time to sit down with me. I appreciate it, and it was a good talk. So, I'll let you know how the episode upload goes, and then I'll send you a link once it's uploaded.